Again, thank you so much again for having me. My name is Norwood. Again, I am the Deputy District Director of the United States Congressman, Espaillat of the 13th Congressional District here in Harlem. And we also have our office on 131st Street in Washington Heights. So I would like to echo a lot of the sentiment that was said earlier. Number one, you can't do something that you don't love. I love what I do. The congressman is a dynamic personality, and everybody that knows him knows that for sure, and he believes in what he is doing. And when you have a member like that in front of you, you can't do anything but come behind him and get 1,000% the same way he does. And I'm honored to stand here before you today and educate you a little bit more on this bill. So let's get started. All right, so we're gonna go to the first slide, please. All right, so this is the Earth Act to Stop Climate Pollution by 2030, United States Congressman Espaillat. So I know in the interest of time, I'm gonna try my best to move through this as quickly as possible. So bear with me. Next slide, please. Why is Earth Day important? Earth Day, this past Saturday, April 22nd, is important to raise awareness about environmental issues and inspire people to take action. It is the largest civic observance in the world. Next slide, please. Every year on Earth Day, we take proactive steps and reflect on ways to protect the environment and minimize health risks that will become more pronounced as our climate continues to change. This year, in honor of Earth Day, Representative Espaillat is making a renewed push to educate and inform his transformative new bill, the Earth Act to Stop Climate Pollution by 2030. Next slide, please. Okay, the Earth Act to Stop Pollution in 2030 supports a comprehensive transition to renewable energy, requiring 100% renewable electricity, zero emission vehicles, and regenerative agriculture by 2030. And we're going to get into this a little bit deeper. Next slide. Scientists agree, once the Earth reaches 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit of global heating, we will reach the point of no return. And global heating will become permanent. And that's not what we want, right? No. Right. The Earth has already experienced 2 degrees of heating as of 2023. But there is still time to save the planet if we act by 2030. According to the UN's Intergovernmental Plan on Climate Change, our best hope is to avoid permanent climate change if we drastically, and I say drastically, cut greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2030. And I'm going to add a little factor in behind it before we change over to the next slide. Studies show that people of color, women, children, elderly, persons with disabilities, low-income persons, and individuals with underlying health conditions face greater risks due to climate change. Slide, please. Right. Move on. According to the climate experts at Regenerative Intelligence, there is only one bill in circulation that has the certainty and specific backing to meet the UN's emission reduction goals. That bill is the Earth Act to Stop Climate Pollution by 2030, which Representative Espaillat introduced to Congress in January of 2023. The bill supports good-paying union jobs in renewable energy sectors, strengthens America's working communities, protects public health, and advances environmental justice. Another piece, this was included in the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, which will provide $370 million in investments across climate change, reducing carbon emissions by roughly 40% by 2030. Next slide, please. All right, let's get into it. The act would lead to the United States transition to green future by requiring what? Number one, say it with me, 100% renewable electricity produced in the US by 2030. Number two, 100% zero emission vehicles produced in the US by 2030. And increase climate smart agricultural practices by 2030. The Earth Act would also create grant programs to cover up to 50% of all costs associated with shifting to renewable electricity, zero emission vehicles, and regenerative agriculture. It would also double the tax incentives for transitioning to these practices. Slide, please. All right, the three sectors that this bill faces is electricity, cars, and food, right? Science-backed tipping point sectors, tipping point, which are these three, it can make us or break us, absolutely. First, the Earth Act works by requiring utility companies to change to 100% clean and healthy inputs in making our electricity by 2030. That is with solar, wind, geothermal, tidal, and water power instead of fossil fuels. Next, the bill requires the U.S. car manufacturers make exclusively electric vehicles by 2030. Countless studies show that transportation sector generates more greenhouse gases annually than any other sector. And of course, that speaks to the great presentation by the next slide, please. Lastly, while the bill would not affect small farmers, the bill would require all publicly traded farming and livestock corporations to significantly increase the number of regenerative agricultural practices they are using by 2030. Regenerative agricultural practices build healthy soil, in doing so capture atmospheric carbon and put it back into the earth. Scientists agree that mandating this adaptation is one of the most important and acting and the cheapest strategy for reversing global heat. So I'm going to add another fun fact before we change to the next slide. 30% of carbon in the atmosphere is absorbed by our trees and plants. 30%. Next slide, please. All right, so I handed out this piece of paper here. You all should have it on your table or in your seat. This is actually the very most important slide, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, this slide has where you can find the Earth Act bill in its entirety with some additional information. That's earthbill.org. Also, down at the bottom, you have our colleague and legislative staffer in Washington, D.C. His name is Robert Hogan. He is available for any questions you may have that you see within the bill and you don't understand. Also, we are opening it up to our community partners and our community to say, we need people to speak out. Okay, so we had a couple of the representatives that signed onto the bill, and I'm going to go back because I definitely want to make sure that we quote them and give their offices a big shout out for all their support. So this bill was co-sponsored by U.S. Representative Nadia Velasquez of District 7 and Jerry Nadler of District 12. But we need more support from our leaders. So call your local elected and ask that they get on board with this ambitious stand to save our planet. Now, we all know you have your electeds, and of course, they have the power to step in and make changes and do what they need to do. But to Mr. Bailey's fantastic point, it's us that live here. We make change. We call our electeds. We request that they look this up. We get on the ground. We make the phone calls and we say, hey, it is not going to change unless we change it. Fair enough? All right. So I had the tremendous opportunity, as always, to staff the congressman, as I love to do. Shadowing him is never short of boring. But we attended some very great events on Earth Day on Saturday. We did a fantastic cleanup in collaboration with Councilmember Shauna Brady's office, but it was very, very great. But the congressman attended many throughout the district. But I want to speak on one particular event, which happened on April the 14th. And I don't know if anyone in here was present there or maybe heard, where the congressman was joined by the EPA administrator. They were at Riverbank State Park. And again, big shout out to WEAC, our fantastic community partners. And that was a profound announcement to invest a historic $177 million into the creation of 17 new technical assistance centers across the country. And we will be here on ground zero for the first one. We're very, very proud of that. And we definitely want to give an additional shout out to our EPA administrator, who, by the way, is the first man of color to hold that seat. We are proud for this partnership. We're proud for the partnership with WEAC and everyone here today. And if I can say anything, and I hear the congressman in my head, he can say, we can do it if we stick together and keep the faith. Thank you very much.